Hi guys, Rachel with Spunky Misfit Girl here, and today we are going to make this cute ephemera folder. It's a great place for storing all your little fussy cuts, scraps, whatever little pieces, labels that you have laying around that you need someplace to stuff things into, and it's a quick and easy make. As you can probably see, it's from number 10 envelopes. So you can use junk mail for this if you want, or if you have a box of these guys sitting around, they're gonna form the inside. Now I did a bad job with my closure on my prototype, so we are gonna do a better job than that for the tutorial video, okay? So you can use however many number 10s that you want, but as you saw, we're gonna fold them in half. So for every one envelope, you're gonna have 2 pockets. So I've got 5, so I'm gonna have 10 pockets. And the first thing we're gonna do is actually glue this flap down. And I did my other 4 already so that you didn't have to watch me doing all of them on the video, but it's as simple as that. The other thing I should mention, these little guys here. So that's actually gonna be our closure. So you're gonna want an outside piece of paper that's gonna cover your number 10s. And so I've chosen this one. This is from a 12 by 12 that I just cut down to be just about big enough to go around the envelopes, and I haven't cut the height yet. We'll do that later. But I just chose something that I thought would look good on this paper, and 2 craft circles with my little, I think it's a 3/8 punch, 5/8, I'm not sure. Cut out 2 craft circles and glued a decorative circle on top, and that's gonna sit for a bit to be ready for when we need our closure. And we'll do that before we put our cover on. So once your flaps are a little bit dry and they've had a chance to kind of grab on there, then we're gonna cut the ends off of these guys because we want them to make pockets. So I'm probably gonna do a couple at once here. I think it'll go through, and I want it at basically the same size. So I'm gonna do, maybe I'll actually make this one a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna just go to this mark here on my, that's 1/2 inch. And I'm just gonna do that same mark on both ends of my envelopes so that they're all the same size. There. And then we're gonna want to decorate the edges of these because they will be seen. So what I used here was washi tape, and I actually alternated. I have these pretty gold ones, so I alternated between something darker and these gold ones. And I think maybe I will do that again, although I don't know if I have enough pretty ones to do that. I have some really, really skinny ones that won't really work for this. You want them to be kind of big enough to, you're gonna want them to wrap around because you're gonna want them to cover both sides. So it's gonna be looking about like this when you do this. And I'm gonna just go ahead and do both sides. And then wrap it around the back. That will mean our edges aren't just that ugly white. They have a little bit of nice color on them. And I can just cut my ends. And I'm just kind of choosing some different, I don't think this guy has enough. Darn. I think I used that one last time too and I ran out. Not sure about this guy either. I need to be able to get two sides out of it. I might just keep going with a little more of these pretty golds. They do look very nice in the end for this. Haven't been feeling so great today, but the boyfriend's out and the sun is still up. So I wanted to get something filmed for you guys. Please excuse me if my energy is a little lower today. There. I think I ate something yucky. There we go. Just using all different ones of these gold ones from the same set. They look really pretty. Oops, that was not straight at all. Let's try to get it at least somewhat reasonably straight. It's not a big deal because you're not really going to be able to eyeball it closely. It's going to be tucked away in this inside. Something really great and soothing about just putting some pretty washi tapes on paper, right? Soothes my soul. That sound is great. When the tape pulls off of the roll. I don't know how well you can hear that with me filming with my phone, but whew, it's satisfying. Okay. And we've got just one more after this. I could see this being a fun way to tuck things into a journal. It's kind of a little bit more of an organizational project. I use a few of these to store ephemera. Oh, here's another one of those. Okay. If I can remember, I will try to find the link to these washi tapes too if you're looking for them. If you don't see it in the description, leave me a comment and I'll dig around for it. Okay, very good. And if you're someone who likes bright colors, this is probably a good spot to use some really bright colors. I don't tend to really go for those. But you do you. Okay, and then we're gonna fold these in half. All 4 of them. And I'm just gonna kind of make sure that I did actually cut them all the same size too, because I can't trust myself to do it right on camera, right? I think I might have, no, I think we're looking okay. Once we get everybody folded, we're gonna punch some notches. This is a little bit tricky because we're gonna try to go through both sides at once, and that needs a little bit of strength. Oh, this punch apparently is super great. Didn't need any strength at all. Awesome. This one's better than the one I used to make the sample. I guess I've got some bits here that didn't come off in my cutting. That's why they looked like they were not maybe the same size. But that's good. Okay, so I'm just, you know, aiming for the middle. It's not a big deal. They don't need to all match up perfectly. Okay, now we've got a whole bunch of pockets. And all we're gonna do is put a little notch of glue, I'm trying to decide what order I want these in. This one's kind of a weird, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I used the same one too. Okay, there we go. Front and back for that same one. Okay, so all we're gonna do now is put a little bit of glue, like right in here on the inside, and a little bit of glue right in here in between envelopes, and then I'm gonna line them up and glue them together. And you might just want to, you know, I just skipped that one just because I wanted to give it a second to grab. So I'm moved on to this one, and I'm gonna glue these 2 together for now. Just give it a second for my glue to dry. Could probably also use tape for this, and it would be quite effective. Okay, so while that gives a second here before we glue the whole thing together, I'm going to just make my cover and the closure. So this is gonna need to fold. We're gonna do it just like this. So it's gonna need to come here, right? Just like this. And it's gonna fold around, and it's gonna come on top. So it might be that the 12 inches from the 12 by 12 is exactly what you want. You could probably do it though, if you had an 8.5 by 11, you could do it the long way. I kind of like this. It's unfortunate because I think that doesn't matter. I'm not gonna have a choice. I'm gonna have to hide that. But I could cut it down a little, but then I'm gonna lose this guy. So I think I'm gonna leave it actually, and just leave it at that 12-inch height. I'm gonna give these a good crease, and I'm going to round my corners for it. And then we're gonna look at putting on our closure because we need to do one side of that before we glue our envelopes inside. And if you want to ink this cover, now's the time to do that as well. I hadn't thought about it. I don't know with this green paper, if that's going to be the thing I want to do. Corners everywhere. It is actually also a little bit wide too, so I'm gonna have to cut it down. It's a little too far, so let's go ahead and do that too. Actually, I think these are probably dry enough at this stage. I'm gonna glue them all together first because that's gonna make it a little easier for me to use this as a base for measuring my cover. Okay, that's our insides. So cute already. Okay, so I want to keep this left side because I like the black over there. So this really doesn't need to be much wider than these envelopes, just very, very close. So I'm gonna go something like here and cut that down and then just re-ink my, or recut my corners. Okay. And do we want to ink? I kind of am tempted to like just try some of it and see how it looks. Maybe some that you won't really see a lot of, like back here. Yeah, I think it works. It's very light, but I think that's nice. So we'll go with it. Okay, and so now what we need to do is find where our button for our closure is going to go on that front piece before we glue this guy. So let's take a look. We're gonna close it up like this. It's gonna be about like that. And we're gonna want those closures. We're gonna want that top one, something like right here, like this. And then we're gonna want the other, like here, right? And that's gonna be cute. Okay, so I'm gonna mark those. And I'm gonna make my hole. I actually think I need my big bite for this one because it's a little ways in there. Take my big bite, make my hole. You could also use an awl. You really don't need a big bite for this. I'm gonna go ahead and make the other one too, just so that that's all ready. Oh, did I bring my, I did. I brought my mini brads. Okay, and so this guy needs a hole too. And for that we can do the little handheld. I'm just gonna put that in the middle. And what color of a brad do we want here? It's a little strange with the black. Maybe silver is the way to go. So I've got these little mini brads from Hobby Lobby. Ooh, I do have this like pewter. I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's kind of a gray, pewter gray. And we're just gonna stick these through here and slide them inside. And I guess we'll go ahead and do the other one too. Doesn't have to be done beforehand, but since we're doing this, might as well. And it might be nice to put something, maybe I'll put a little more of the same paper that I have left. I have the rest of this guy here. I'll cut a piece for the inside here. Just like that. And just like that. I think I'm gonna leave a little bit around the edges. And you don't have to do this. If you don't care about the brad legs showing, it's totally fine. I just kind of like to cover those sorts of things up. And I will also round my corners for that one. And okay, now these guys are gonna go right in here, just like this. I'm just gonna put a bunch of glue on the back here. Slide that guy into my middle. Make sure my top folds up around it properly. Folds down properly. Oh, this is so much cuter than the prototype I made, you guys. Way better. This one I might actually be able to put into my booth. Okay, and then we're gonna glue this one, which is why we needed to do our closure beforehand, which I did not plan for the last time. Okay, I'm gonna give that a sec. Get all grabby on there, and I'm gonna do this guy up. Actually, maybe we'll do the interior of this guy too. We didn't do the insides. Well, I did not do the insides. Maybe you guys did. And then I'm just gonna cover up that brad legs too. Just like that. Oh, this came out better than I thought it was going to. I do like this paper. This is really nice paper. This pack, I don't know, I got on Amazon, and it's really not a very good pack overall. Sometimes it works out better than others. And I have this, I don't know, it's not even twine. It's like this really thin string. There's a creator named Album Love Handmade whose papers I love. She makes handmade paper, and she packages things with this stuff. So I've got it sitting on my desk, and I thought I would reuse it for this little guy because it's nice and thin, so I think it'll sit underneath that closure really nicely. And I'm just tying 2 knots underneath, and then I'm going to trim off this little bit on the end. Just make sure that's in there pretty nicely. And then my closure can come just like this around these 2 pieces a couple of times, and you can go back and forth if you want. I think I'll leave it about like that. I want to tie a knot at the bottom, so I'm going to leave a little bit here. And then let's just open this guy back up for a sec and make sure that all of our pockets open up properly and are not getting glued together while they're while they're marinating in there. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I might do a little something to the outside. I don't think it needs a lot. Maybe a black and white butterfly or some words or something. I'll fiddle with it a little and see, but okay. And then let's just open this guy up. Oops, we forgot to do that one. Well, okay, that's good. Good thing we checked. And this one too. No worries. Not gonna hurt anything. Yeah. And then that's gonna open up like this. I think I got a little glue on the inside of one of my pockets here. That's the thing, those tops will glue together if you're not careful with where the glue goes. Just like that. I'm gonna fuss with it a little bit more. Make sure those things aren't gluing together. That's our cute little ephemera project for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.